So you've done all the types of breath work, all the journaling, and all the mindset work, and still ended up in the same spiral a week later. That's because most people only work on one layer of mental health, but there are at least three, and if you skip any of them, you stay stuck. I'm Dr. Gretchen Gavero, psychiatrist, mom, and someone who knows mental health has to be practical if it's going to work. My style blends medical science, psychology, and personal development tools to build mental health habits. This is episode 40 and the last episode of season 4. Over the past 3 episodes, we've covered a lot, like how to do mental health check-ins and using frameworks to help us organize how to manage stress, like addressing your biology, psychology, and social factors and environmental influences. Today, we're pulling it all together with what I believe is the minimum in making sure you have a solid foundation to protect and strengthen your mental and emotional health. We need skills that address the 3 angles of mental health: in-the-moment resets, deeper work for recurring patterns, and daily maintenance to keep you steady. This is the framework I developed after years in the clinic of doing psychotherapy and reflecting on my own style of therapy, and honestly, my personal approach to growing my mental resilience. When my patients practice it, they move forward. And again, I live it myself. I'm a busy mom, I run my own business, I see a full load of patients every week. And even with all of that, for the most part, I feel balanced, calm, and happy. These 3 layers are the reason why. So let's get into it. Layer 1, these are your in-the-moment skills. This is your emergency toolkit. So when your nervous system is fired up, you need to reset it fast. Here's what happens usually. Your brain detects a threat and releases adrenaline and other hormones that signal stress. What you feel is your chest tightens, your thoughts might be spinning, your body goes into high alert. That adrenaline and other stress hormones, they need a few minutes to cycle through your body. But most times, without the proper coping skills, it's so easy to just give in to that. That's why we sometimes blow up or shut down in super stressful situations. The key is calming first, then thinking. So a couple of weeks ago, while traveling in a completely new country for the first time, I was in a situation where I was running late catching my train. The signs were hard to follow, so I was totally lost with my group. It literally felt like the Amazing Race. We had to rush and made it on our train in the last few seconds. At that time, my chest tightened, my heart was racing. Really in the moment, my nervous system did what it had to do. Spike those stress hormones so I can focus, have energy to walk faster, and just move with urgency. But, I also knew that if my adrenaline goes up too high, I risked feeling frozen or totally overwhelmed with panic. And then if that happened, then I would surely miss the train. So in this situation, it was important to keep my stress response in control so I could make sure that my logical brain was still online. I needed it to be calm enough to pay attention, think, and problem solve. So for me, that means step 1, doing deep inhales and long exhales. Step 2, noticing the thought. And then step 3, run it through my think framework, which we talked about last episode. For example, I might think, oh man, I messed this all up. We're for sure going to be late. It's all my fault, and everyone's going to blame me. Well, is that true? Not 100%. Is it helpful to focus on that thought right now? Not really. Is it important? Well, at that time, it's important to think of a solution. So what's needed was actually concentrating on where to go instead of beating myself up for the situation that was so stressful. That unkind thought of, it's all my fault, etc., would have just stressed me out more. So those deep breaths, those regrounding and reframing the thoughts super quickly helped me pause and broke the cycle. So if you're feeling a bit stressed right at this moment, take a breath right now. Long inhale, even longer exhale, and notice what shifts in your body. Okay, but what if the same triggers keep showing up? That's where the next layer really comes in. So layer 2 or angle 2 is doing the deeper work. In the moment, resets are powerful, but sometimes the pattern itself needs attention. Let's say you're noticing that you're getting into repeated arguments, or noticing you're not feeling as confident these days about yourself. It might be time to lean into the deeper exploration to understand where it's coming from. Like what part of your life story needs care. See, The brain compares present experiences with your past memories, past data, especially past experiences when there was hurt or you felt unsafe or threatened. Sometimes it even uses old reaction patterns to new triggers, even if it's outdated or not relevant. And in these situations, your brain is really just trying to protect you from being hurt again in the present moment. For example, if you're a parent, you might be having trouble with your kids, when really it's reminding you of your own difficult upbringing. It's not about your kids right now, it's about your old story and maybe issues with your caregivers or parents that were not resolved. So deeper work looks like therapy for trauma or unresolved experiences. It could be exploring beliefs that keep driving your reactions or tackling recurring stressors you've been avoiding. There are many, many ways to approach this. One is focusing on ideas or automatic thoughts driving your reactions, behaviors, or mood. So for me, for example, once I identify an idea or an automatic negative thought, I ask thought-challenging and reframing questions like, what evidence supports this thought? That's actually the easy question. The more important question is, well, what evidence do I have that goes against it, that tells me that this automatic negative thought is not true? Sometimes I even ask, what do my past wins say about me? Can I reframe this negative thought into something more true and more balanced? For example, when my brain says, man, I'm not doing enough. After doing the thought check and reframe, I might eventually come up with ideas like, well, I've handled harder seasons in my life before. I'm showing up today. Enough doesn't have to mean perfect. This is how you rewire patterns over time. Catch the thought, check it, reframe, and redirect it. I know it's easier said than done, but again, these are just habits. These are thought habits that you can build and practice day after day, and then you get better at it. And okay, even if you've mastered calming in the moment and done the deeper work, your mental health still can be shaky without support in the day-to-day. This is where layer 3 or angle 3 comes in. That's your daily maintenance, your mental hygiene, the small, repeatable habits that keep your system steady. Let's go back to the basics here. That's your sleep, food, and movement. Your body has to support your brain. What about your environment? Like looking at your calendar, what's on your plate? Are you doing regular calendar audits? Is your schedule fueling you or draining you? What about the things that you consume? News, social media, conversations, all of those parts of your environment shape your brain. Even your relationships, they are part of your environmental influences. What are the routines that keep connection steady? Again, there are so many different habits to talk about here. I'll just give you an example so that you have an idea about what I'm talking about. So let's talk about relationships. Some of the mental hygiene relationship-related habits that I focus on would be how I handle conflict with people. And these are 4 examples of what I do. First, grounding, calming yourself first. Next, reconnecting, deciding when the proper time is to show up and start the conversation again when I'm ready and when the other person is ready. Then reconciling, that's the repair conversation that happens, and debriefing, reflecting and learning afterwards. So each time I have a difficult interaction, I remember those 4 habits and I just practice them over and over and over. Sometimes they're very hard to do, but like with any habits, persistence make it easier over time. So try this today. Let's say, look at your calendar. Look at tomorrow's calendar. Add 1 5-minute break for rest or connecting with someone who really energizes you. What are the non-negotiable self-care habits that need to be on your schedule? These habits for mental hygiene are kind of like the workouts and the meal plans that keep your body healthy. So make sure that you are paying attention to those too. So here are the 3 layers or angles of mental health skills again. 1, your in-the-moment skills that resets your nervous system. 2, the deeper work that helps you reframe the patterns that keep showing up. And 3, the daily maintenance that build prevention into your life. If you skip a layer or an angle, you will definitely feel it. If you use all three, then you've got a system that keeps you from burning out, helps you to bounce back faster when stressful situations come up. So here's your action step for this week. Ask yourself today, which layer or angle do I need right now? Is it a quick reset, a deeper reframe, or a daily check-in? Pick one and act on it. And with that, we are closing season 4 of the Mental Path podcast. We've covered a lot this season, the check-ins, the frameworks, and now the 3 layers that tie it all together. I really hope that you found tools that are simple, practical, and powerful enough to use even if you're busy. We'll take a short break before starting season 5. That will land right in time for the holiday season, and I don't have to tell you, the holidays bring their own stress, expectations, and a lot of emotional weight for some of us. So season 5 will be all about managing holiday stress with more ease, finishing the year strong, and really stepping into the new year with strong motivation and confidence. So make sure that you're subscribed and use this next couple of weeks to practice what you've learned. Also, please check out my YouTube channel. It has lots of practical strategies for mental health and self-care. Again, I'm Dr. Gretchen Gavero. Thank you so much for listening, for doing this work with me, and for making your mental health a priority. I'll see you in season 5.